Hello boys, my name is Coolyoshi and welcome back to my 100% walkthrough of the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD for Nintendo Switch. In the last episode, we left off doing some stuff in the middle part of the game, and we kind of found this new dungeon on the side that we were able to basically find in the Elden region. We also got the third child done, and with that we are tasked to go to another area that we haven't really been to. Now, just a bit of a warning to anybody who hasn't done stuff: after the next dungeon is done, the next things will be a little bit awkward. In fact, I heavily recommend doing the next storyline at this point, because until a set storyline is done, you won't actually be able to fully 100% the game until after this is complete. So, for that reason, you're going to be seeing a lot more interesting videos, which is good because we'll be doing nothing but story progression here, although there is one thing we have to do first before we begin. That is getting some goddess cubes. These ones are much more out of the way and require much more interesting setups to get to. Particularly on the east of Skyview and a couple of other areas in Farron's. Both will actually have a hook shot requirement that requires the hook shot in order to get to the say that as I run into it early like an idiot. That's fine. I usually never go this way, so I didn't know he was there. But essentially what we're looking for is... Oh, there's vines actually right there. Yeah, can we actually use them? Yeah, okay. So using the vines, we're able to get on top of the area with Skyview Temple, which is normally somewhere we're not able to get to, but by doing this a couple of times and then quickly slashing this thing, we get access to our 24th goddess cube. This is now 25th. If I do get near these goddess cubes, I will probably get them. But beyond that, I will probably not be collecting them as much as I was in the previous videos. Instead, I'm going to be just doing multiple warps throughout the area, going to the sky and just doing other stuff. So, again, skipping a lot of enemies. Fortunately, in the next area, we won't be able to skip a lot of enemies. In fact, we'll basically have to kill all of them, because without a specific setup, this is actually pretty difficult to do. And this is where the bow upgrade I mentioned before, this is where that comes in handy. So again, doing a backwards motion, I probably should have done that sooner to get another trick warp in, which alternatively also takes us really close to the area I want to be anyway, so very important. Anyways, our destination this time is Floria Waterfall, and similar to other spots, there is another hookshot requirement. Now, you could have potentially gotten this hookshot requirement a bit sooner, the moment you got access to your claw shots, though it doesn't really do anything useful until later, and your only hint of this is you'll see these vines just barely hanging down from the edge, which of course we can grab with our double claw slash, and on the top is another goddess cube, this one 25 of 27. So if we've done everything correctly, which I believe we have, we will have now hit at least... we will now only have 2 goddess cubes left, and conveniently, what I like about this is this also takes us very close to where the actual basin is. So this both acts as a quick warp and something else. So very actually pretty cool strategy that you could do for 100%. Gets you a goddess cube and allows you to finish the main storyline incredibly quickly. That's you. Tell me, are you Master Pilot dowsing, sir? Oh, you wish to borrow my water basin? Very well. I've recovered and I have no intention having to soak it in against you. Be gone with it. It's yours to use as you please. Insert the right station. You'll need to list the service of the transport line. Should I send word to him? Understood. I will call him at once. So this next part is probably one of the tougher parts in the game, more or less annoying, and there's another thing that will also happen in the Elden region as well, so it'll get pretty annoying. Mr. Side, my deepest apologies for keep you waiting. Let's see here, this cargo looks very heavy, but it's well within my payload tolerances. Master Shirt Pants, watch carefully while I demonstrate what a real heel looks like. As usual, I shall await you in the skies above. So yeah, we get to pick up the basin right away without having to really look through it much. Master, your task here is complete for the moment. We should return to the sky so we can set a course for the volcano. Use that to recover the cheap parts that I lost just from taking that cheap hit. I actually did go in the right direction, so I was smart to go there. It's just I didn't know where the vines were. Keep in mind, I've never actually gotten either of those cubes in the original. I only got a decent amount of them. I didn't actually get all of them. Definitely trolley locations for goddess cubes to be hidden, which is why we even have our Odyssey theme at all. But yeah, there's not a lot else we can do with the game, so most of the rest of the game is just going to be going through the main storyline stuff, and from there, we're just gonna get the best shield and all the heart pieces, and pretty soon we'll basically be done with the game in terms of, like, art stuff. Because after this, there's only 2 full hearts left, both of which come from pieces, since we already have both life medals, and then that'll allow us to go to other stuff, and yeah. Not gonna say much though, we're gonna go straight into this next sentence. This is the entrance to the volcano. I better get there before Master Shirt Pants. What I find really strange about this is for some reason they don't allow you to teleport in this one, so this is a little bit of a cutscene. For some reason, Link decides to go to the very beginning of the area instead of at the top. And so, we are triggered into this area. What's going on? I almost flew a load trying to slow myself during that set. Anyways, this is where you wanted to go, right? The summit? Why didn't you say so from the start? I don't want to carry this thing back to the sky. It's heavy. And we also have archers everywhere. This place is swarming with monsters. I bust up enemies like a junkyard record. Too bad I got my mitts full at this basin. Since we came all this way, let's play a little game called Protect the Robot. Here's how it works. I'll follow you up to the volcano and you make sure nothing touches you. Got it? Good. It's simple. Make sure none of these monsters lays a claw on me, not one claw. That's actually a joke. He can take some damage and be fine, but basically, we are now in an escort mission, which for me is one of the more difficult parts of the game. There's no really good way to do this faster. You pretty much are forced to kill every single Bobblekin archer and almost every other major enemy here. If you leave even a single enemy alive, they will begin hurting the other opponents slowly, and if he takes too many hits, he can take, I think, like 2 or 3, and then if you do that, you won't actually die. It doesn't result in a game over either, but instead you get warped to the last save point you were, which is in this case the bird statues, which basically resets some of your progress. Of course, if you know where the Bobblekin archers, it's not too bad. This is where our Sacred Bow actually comes into play. Without the Sacred Bow, it would be pretty tricky to hit these guys properly. And without the best archery skill things, we'd only be able to use 20 bow and arrow shots. Whereas in this, we get the ability to use 35 instead, which means we can fill up our bow and arrows almost immediately. Not only that, but it's more powerful. So as you see there, that Moblin, in other games, he would only die in like 5 hits and would take forever to die. But In this mode, he dies in only 3 hits. And yes, every single enemy has to be killed. So as long as you're in the same area and don't move, you will always be able to go to the area right away. And in case you're wondering, yes, you have to take mostly linear path through here. There's not much you can do to skip it. Nor is there any differences that you can do. So we pretty much have to take the longest route possible to get up to here, because 1, he can't follow you into caves, and 2, he can't follow you into other areas, hence why these things are even here, to help us guide us to the other place. Not only that, but there's other trolley enemies here. And this is my least favorite part of this entire mission, is if you go too fast, he'll get stuck on unusual spots. That area right there you see being probably one of the worst for him to get stuck. And if you go too fast, he'll stop following you and you'll have to wait on him just to get back. It's honestly one of the worst feelings in the entire game, and for that reason and a couple of other reasons, we have to basically KO every single Bobblekin here. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to kill the first 3. It's when you get later that things start becoming problems. And the most Bokart part, in my opinion, I believe is coming up actually right now. I believe there's 1 hidden Bobblekin here and maybe something else as well. Oh, and there's these guys too. Yeah, let's not forget about these. Thankfully, we killed them pretty quickly. So yeah, we have to both go pretty slow and also kill all the enemies in our way. So, essentially, this is an escort mission, and because of the way it's set up, the only way you can truly get through it is with your bow and arrow. As thus, you could basically call this not an escort mission, but more or less the archery grind, since we use our bow in multiple locations throughout this area just to get through it. Honestly, it's pretty crazy. Of course, with all the shortcuts, this part is not as bad. And yes, he will stop at the sight of basically any enemy, so can't skip any enemies that we know of, especially those Bobblekin archers. They will snipe you when you least expect it. But anyways, it looks like we did actually get them this time, so there was only 2 there, which is good because it's really bad otherwise. Now this big guy here, the other dude, he normally expects you to, you're normally expected to bomb that Bobblekin, but we do this strategy instead because it's slightly better and also more interesting. Also, this will be probably the only time we won't be able to do other stuff. So anyways, there you see he freaks out whenever you get near an enemy. And yeah, there's multiple enemies to kill here. Because they both... And surprisingly enough, these Bobblekins have a very long range, very much. And appear in multiple spots. Without the sacred bow, it's not easy to exactly hit them. In fact, that's part of the reason why this bow is so important, just because, well, there's so many enemies to KO here that you cannot do enough with just your regular arrows alone. And they're also hidden in multiple locations. Like, you would have not know that guy is there even at all. You would probably just charge up here doing other setups, and then he'll tell you, oh, I'm getting attacked, and you will wonder, but where's the archer? And you'll find out you're too late because you couldn't actually do stuff. Okay, that one I could have probably skipped. Some of these you can skip, I guess, if you are smart with how you kill the enemies, but otherwise we have to basically kill everything here, and there are multiple enemies here too. Okay, no archers here. Looks like this Moblin could be taken out in the same way, so I'll show the alternative way, which involves throwing bombs to his side, which each one of those deals a hit. In fact, it's easier with the bomb bait because you can just pick up one. And then after you throw a few of those, he'll just get defeated. Oh, and if you throw one of them, yeah, he kind of just dies. It's kind of funny. But anyway, again, not a lot we can do to skip this, so basically, like I mentioned, this is essentially Escort the archery game. Basically, archery practice if you want, for Link specifically. Since, again, you have to kill almost every Bobblekin archer here, otherwise they'll just kill you. Here's the other sneaky part, which is coming up right away. We have to be incredibly quick here. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I could have sworn there were archers here. It looks like they may have removed them in this, or they're just not there. Okay, well, there are two up here. Well, they're too far away. I have to move slightly upwards when hitting one to ensure I actually hit them. But anyways, I think the really funniest part that actually makes this somewhat decent is the fact that every time you kill one of the ones on top, they like do a roly-poly down the cliff, which is kind of funny, honestly. But yeah, we have to kill all these guys, and these are some of the tougher ones to kill. There's also this other one on top. Like, you wouldn't even know that guy is there until it's too late. It's very awkward trying to hit some of these guys. Way too far to the right, I can immediately tell there. Some of these you are expected to get a bit closer. In fact, now that I'm down to low, I'm going to start being more aggressive. Previously, I was trying to avoid a lot of them, but now I'm just going to be actually, well, yeah. Okay, so this melee one, this is one of the ones we could actually potentially skip. As long as the guy follows you, which it looks like he's doing, this is one of the few that you can skip. But beyond that, they will just destroy your robot if you don't do this strategy properly. Okay, now we finally hit the last checkpoint, and now that we're here, things will hopefully not be as bad. So now the only place we have left to go is to the right, and then we'll be mostly home free from there. But again, we do still have to deal with that other obnoxious problem. Again, my least favorite part of this, especially doing it like the first time, was the fact that I have to do other stuff. I'm gonna just zerg these enemies down. I'm tired of doing nothing but archery all the time. The melee enemies almost hardly hit him, so yeah, that's a thing you could deal with. And for this moblin, we can't really do the same strategy as we did before, so we're gonna do the original strategy, walk up behind him, and just slash multiple times. Okay, I'm in a bad spot. I have to let go first. He's still kind of stuck here. I like how he keeps saying danger, help, and yeah, we were completely fine there. The Moblin couldn't really hit him, even if he stood a chance. But anyways, this is the other sneak part. Like before, this time you cannot avoid the archers seeing you the first time, which makes it a bit obnoxious, really. There's multiple of them hidden in the sides, as well as there's one hidden in the corner. No matter what you do, even if you go to the right side, this archer will always fire no matter what, or at least attempt to. So, you will have no choice but to kill him pretty quickly. So, like, yeah, the one you just saw on the right, that's the most brutal one here. We have another shield moblin boy to kill. They are not as easy as the other ones. This one is not as bad because I can just run off to respawn, set him into a good spot. Ah, he was 1 hit away though. Could have gotten him a bit sooner, but whatever. Alright, we got that done. I assume there's none there because there are no good spots for them. I'm checking for some arrows because this area for some reason doesn't have any, and I don't like that. Okay, now, once we run into this area, he should follow us, which takes us to the final checkpoint in the actual volcano itself, and this is the last hurrah, basically, and there's not a lot that can stop us here, as far as we know. Yes, there are a lot of the bubble things, and we have multiple bats as well, which are a bit annoying, but not quite as annoying as the otherwise aggravating Boblican archers. Man, if those things weren't there, we could probably just run straight to the end on this, but it's because of this crazy eye that we have no choice but to fight most of these monsters. Can I use a bomb trick on them? I wonder. Maybe. Oh no, they block it easily. Thankfully, these are pretty easy. Isn't there a slime here? Oh, nope. He is despawned for some reason this time. Alright, here we go. This part, he mostly moves quickly, but again, we can't really dash while he's there, because if we go too fast, he'll say, hey, wait for me. You want me to pour on a list? No problem. Okay, there we go. So, we finally finished this. This takes quite a while to do. And that opens the way into the actual dungeon, finally. Alright. Did you see that, Mr. Sai? If there's anything else I could do to be of assistance, just call me anytime. The flames block your path have been fully sealed, so I recommend proceeding ahead. Indeed. Jeez, if this gets really bad, I may straight up have to go back to get arrows, but the game expects you to have arrows by this point, so we're probably going to find some in there. That being said, despite having 35, we're still pretty low on arrows. If we had not gotten the upgraded bow, yeah, it would have been bad. Also, I don't expect to actually complete this dungeon in one try this time, just because of the lightness it took to get to it. If I had also completed the escort quest, then it would have done that. In fact, in a later video, maybe I would stop early, just so I could do Fire Sanctuary all in one, but not the case. Instead, we'll just do as much as we can. So, now we're very late onto the game. This is a much more difficult dungeon, and arguably has my least favorite boss in the game. It'll be someone we've more than likely met, but he's very difficult this time around, and yeah, not going to be a fun fight. This is one where if I was doing a regular strategy, I may use a Guardian Potion on, but for the purposes of the video, I actually want to show how to beat the bosses properly, since at some point you won't be able to really use that. So, for the purposes of only practice, I will only defeat him using regular stuff and no Guardian Potion, because I kind of hate using invisibility as a cheat to beat bosses. But anyways, the mechanic you see here is all these mysterious things up on the top. If you run into them, intended to use either the slingshot or the bow here, you can make these things fall down, and if these platforms then fall down, you can get across to the next zone. The first part is pretty straightforward. You can get multiple items like this. Oh. Oh. This is the item I want. Because we're hardly up. Hardly have any fairies left, so I need to remember to get that. Okay, good. We got some arrows back. We definitely need arrows here. Alright, so there's lots of stuff we have to get here, but the first phase of this is pretty much no problem. It's not actually that bad. First you run the beetle into the first one to trigger that platform to reveal. Then you do it again with the second one, and this time it takes a pathway leading to the other area. Unlike the sand, this lava does hurt us, so we do need to make sure to fall down. We could take out the Balkan archers. This time around we don't need to though. Instead we're gonna dodge around them in like a circular fashion. This should allow us to usually get through good. I like how I did all of that correctly and then I was an idiot and completely just missed a jump. Yeah, about that. I think I'm gonna change my camera angle to make sure that never happens again. It'll look awkward at first, but honestly, I probably should have done this from the beginning. This is just to make sure my jump is lined up. Oh, and since they already know we're here, we're going to have to deal with them, but yeah, I'm basically just running a circle pattern, hoping to not get hit. Fortunately, we did get hit that one time. Mostly, it's a problem based off of... Oh my gosh! Why did you get knocked down, Link? That is literally the... Honestly, I'm so frustrated of that just because I'm frustrated. I'm going to just purposely reset. I'm pretty sure I saved there, and I know there's an autosave that always happens to the end, so I'm just gonna reset to get all those hearts back. Frick that. I am not redoing that with that many hearts. And now you see why I would do stuff. In fact, if that was hard mode, if I was in, like, just lower hearts, I would have already died. Like, that's how fast you can die in hero mode. It's so brutal of a game to play. And that's why people actually think it's one of the worst games, just because its hero mode has, like, more damage than any other things. Like, the others, oh, it's like 1 or 2 hearts you can kind of manage if you get it right. This one has 4 heart of damage attacks. Heart of damage attacks. And that's in a game where pretty much everything else also does 2 damage a hit. So that's pretty brutal. So, we're gonna redo that again. Hopefully this time I don't get actually hit by them, because holy crap, that is so annoying. Just for that reason and that reason alone, I might straight up do other stuff. In case you're wondering, my Fireshield Earrings are supposed to protect, but for some reason they did not that one time, and I hate them for that. See, look, see, that time, oh, okay, that time, alright, that's enough. That Balkan Archer has done basically as much as I could do. Normally, we would do a skip for him, but apparently these guys just don't want to let us by. In case you're wondering, yes, it is kind of random whether or not they let us by, and it is not fun, so we'll have to do the slow version of the strategy, which is not as fun, honestly. I prefer the other one just because you kind of set up a thing and then do other stuff. But that's like the second time they freaking knocked me off the cliff, and I hate them for that, so that's enough. They are going to get the ultimate punishment, and I'm not going to even kill these guys. I'm just going to purposely take the hits or just move around them. And instead, we're going to snipe each of these jerks instead. Like right here. Those jerks must die. They just hit me way too many times. So, we're killing them. So that way we can actually get this free. And there we go. Finally we make it. Jeez, that took a long time. In fact, if I was playing regular mode, I would probably already be dead. So I think I'm glad I reset here. Because as you know, I hate taking damage very early on. So I prefer to just not take stuff. And you had to kill them all anyway, so probably should have just killed them all. Of course, I don't know that the first time around. I always assume I could skip them until later, but then it's like, freaking heck. Okay, anyways, finally getting past that part allows us to meet, Guld. The A's at last. Well, don't scare you. I thought you were one of those monster creeps. Oh, hey, what's this? You got yourself a swanky pair of diggy mitts, don't you? Who are you, anyway? What are you doing here? On a quest, obviously. I getcha. Me? Oh, I'm name's Guild. I'm the big boss of the Magas. Those diggy mitts you got right there, I invented them. No offense, pal, but you don't look like the kind of guy I'd send here on a treasure hunting mission, but what do I know? You might just surprise me. Here's the deal. Word in the tells there's a huge treasure hidden in these ruins. Nobody who's ever seen it has come back to tell the tale. Countless treasure hunters have disappeared in here. Poof, gone. As a treasure digger, I gotta warn you just to turn around and enjoy the many peaceful years digging left. But you gotta do this no matter what I say, alright, yeah? Pretty much. Alright then, I'm gonna let you in on an ancient treasure hunting legend passed down among generations of Magas. Every Mogma worth a handful of dirt knows this one. Here we go. You seek the entrance to the king's treasure for the two statues that face one another. Show your bravery and jump into the mouth of the sleeping statue. Do this and the path will open before you. Remember all of that and you're golden. Thanks. Okay, if you get lost, holler at one of them. Which is the other treasure hunters. And just to think, by the way, this is literally just the beginning. Literally the beginning of the dungeon. And we're already having fails like this. That just only shows how much worser it'll be off. So, I think I made a good choice doing that. Because no way I'm using my potion on not even a mini-boss setup. Just like the first area. Straight up. Ever since then, I'm going to just kill everything I see now. I'm just so flustered now. Definitely going to kill everything. I know you can skip some of them, but apparently those you could not. I don't know why I even bothered trying to fight them. Because if I get them out of the way now, then they're not going to come back for me later. So, anyways, we'll begin by falling into this left part. And at first, there's not really a lot we can do. In fact, at first I thought there was actually like a trap here that straight up prevented us from advancing. But it turns out I actually did forget something. So, I'll briefly explain what we have to do in a minute. First, though, we have to get to this area. So, if we go there, we'll see that there's an enemy that will come up from the ground. If we wait too long, one of the fiery hands will appear. These are known in some other games as Wellmasters. I forget what they're called in this, but they'll basically burn us alive if we don't do anything correctly. So, yeah, I'll just get all these, screw it. Again, we need multiple bow and arrows, so that's why I'm overstocking now. Now, like many of the other battles, we are purposely killing all these guys, just so that we don't have to deal with them later. Hit them in the back there. The sooner we kill them, the better, because we will be returning to this room more than once, and we want to make sure that we kill them. This is just so that they don't fire at us too much. Some of them you can skip charging for if you are fast enough close enough with your bow ever. You can just defeat them in one shot. Now, part of the reason why we kill them is for this section right here. Like many other sections, they will knock us off like the jerks they are if we give them a chance. So we need to make sure they're all dead. That just makes it a lot easier. We could easily go to that ledge, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to head straight here. Trigger yet another save point. This one a bit more important because we will be facing a mini-boss, but Funnily enough, it's not a true mini-boss, but instead an upgraded version of an enemy we've seen before. Entering this area forces us into that, and sure enough, yep, it's the Lysithos again, but it's dark this time. Despite getting hit once I learned the strategy of spamming shield, which was just shaking this over and over again, we were able to do that pretty fast. In fact, that was pretty easy, because we can block the Lysithos, so we just blocked him twice, and then he kind of just died. Yeah, compared to all the other stuff the game is throwing at us so far, that is one of the easier fights ever. I don't know why they put that in the game. Like, just to prove, we have a lot more problems with the second part more than this frickin' part. That just further proves how annoying this is. And I'm gonna get rid of these jerks so they don't hit me later. As with many of the other areas, the enemies will get more annoying if you do try and skip them, so I guess I kind of joked more or less. Particularly the archers you definitely want to kill. There's also the jerk bats as well. These time around, they are literal jerks. Oh yeah. Now that I think of it, when I got knocked back, I didn't just get hit by a regular feint. I do believe I also got hit by, like, straight up the actual archer. It was quite unusual and not something I like here. Otherwise, unfortunately, try as we might, we can't actually get past the second section normally, so we're gonna first grab a bomb and then turn around. Yet another very much good use of both the speed and tough beetle. It's actually pretty difficult to do without that. So if we go over here and then use it on this rock, we'll see a ledge very similar to what we did before. Blow that up and that opens the way forward. It was definitely tricky to do without the beetle, so definitely quick beetle, one of the best upgrades in the entire game for this dungeon. So anyways, we'll use that and then use our beetle to save a bow and arrow so that we can then use this to get to the end. Without this particular strategy, we'll never be able to make it to the end, which is a bit annoying, but that's just the way it is. As for the key is hidden in this room. And to get it, we have to rescue this boy over here, which is Silva. That stuff looks out. I wouldn't mind a little off-bat by our soldiers, but this is too much. What we got here? Another new guard? Ha! You can't break me with your interrogation, son. You'll never make me tough. I'm not some sideshow for you to gawk at. Get lost, you now. Well, we're not here for you. We're actually here for something else. Also, apparently you can clear this out. So I'm going to clear out this one first. And then clear and move as we go on here. It is possible to actually skip these, but I think it's much easier to do this. And I kind of joked around. We're not going to help him because we can't. We're only here for the key, which blocked us from the other room. Now that we have that, we can go in here and using our SotH, we can open the door to this area, which leads into yet another puzzle. This one a bit more interesting. This time the enemy fiends or water fiends are kind of close to our face, and this shows the other regard fiends. Although these fiends spit water onto the field when they fall down, they're actually also enemies in their own way. Yes, that's right. If you run into those fiends, you'll take damage, so you'll actually have to clear them out. Not only that, but we have another mini puzzle to do here, but this is basically the same as the puzzle we meant to clear at the beginning of the dungeon. However, this time, fiends will be a bit different. First, we're gonna use our sword to pierce a little big ball fiend, which is the plant we were trying to do. If we then swing it up, we can hit this frog out, which clears the way. It's actually quite an unusual puzzle, and... Now, there are some other enemies around, but if we do the right route, we can get 2 items here. The first is yet another evil crystal. The second is located for out here, and will more than likely require us to slash some stuff, so I'll go ahead and slash those once to get by. Ooh, we get another one of those fiends. We'll go ahead and take it. Those will probably be the only fiends we'll need for the end of the dungeon. That being said, the final boss of this area is definitely much more brutal than the other stuff. I think it, like, balances out evenly. Okay, good. The frickin' enemy is known as the jerk bats didn't hit me. I'm calling them jerk bats because they take away your sword powers for a moment when you get hit by them, so they really are jerks. That's why I call them that, because they're very mean, and we don't like them. Oh, this looks really familiar. Oh, this looks really familiar. It looks like we are back in the same area as before as we did to other stuff, but this time we'll have to actually fight the enemies this time. However, we still can't do that properly, so same puzzle as before, we have to head back up, but this time things will be a bit different. So these enemies, they will basically destroy you if you don't have this fiend. The only way to hit them is with this water fiend right here. You have to wait for them to get up and attack you. From there, you then use that water fiend on them, and if you hit them properly, they will then de-stun themselves for a while, from which you will then be able to hit them. The only way to do that is with this plan. The only way to do it effectively is to wait for them to come up. So there's not a good way to do this properly. Thankfully, it's a pretty straightforward fight once you get the hang of it. The first thing you want to do is obviously kill one of them. Though if you can get them both to stone, that makes it a bit quicker, though it's very difficult to do properly due to the trajectory of this thing. So again, we're waiting for him to come back up, lock onto him and throw this at him, and then we can kill him just like his buddy, and that gets rid of them. I believe in the folklore, some people call them muddy hands, but I'm going to call them lava hands, because although they do look our stuff, they're not necessarily muddy, so they do look a bit different. In fact, I think that's more or less another term, like Final Fantasy term than a Zelda term, but whatever. Hey, I was watching it, pal. You really socked it to those lava fienders. Amazing stuff. And if you don't mind doing one more thing while you're at it, how about you get me down from here? Alright. Now we can actually do what he wanted us to do. Because previously, when we got in there, there was no way to actually rescue him. But now that we've taken out those guys are actually the true mini-boss. Which are a bit more difficult if you don't know what you're doing, but just like before, they're pretty easy once you know what to do. And there's an ultimate chill there. No matter what you do, you can't actually pull that switch normally, so you have to basically use your whip to pull him down instead. And this allows us to rescue him. Oh yeah, I'm saved. I don't know who you are or where you're from, but I owe you big time. Are you looking for treasure too? Yes. You are totally caught up in that too, pal. I can see it on your face. You're here because of the legend of the sleeping statue, right? But those are some busted old digging mitts. You can't use them for treasure hunting. I got it. As Sphinx, I'm gonna give you a replacement pair for my secret stash. Don't go nowhere. All yours. They've been in a buried treasure chest, so they ain't dirty or anything. Now, these ain't the kind of mitts you can easily get your hands on just anywhere, so take good... Right, then I'm out of here, so... Hold on. Alright. Whew. Okay. This gives us the Mogma Mitts. They don't just dig holes, they also let you burrow their way under the ground. Try to find holes that you can dig down into. So that's what allows us to actually finish the rest of the area For our first bit, press A button, an unusual thing happens for some reason. And then when we go in, we'll see that we're now underground. To get through each maze, we have to do other stuff, and suddenly Silva's here! Hello, how are those mints treating ya? If you want to get a good look above ground, try pressing ZL. Got it? Press ZL to see Elf down. Don't you go forgetting it. Just like all of the other stuff, if you press and hold B, you can make yourself go faster with these. And this is, in my opinion, where the game gets a bit more difficult. Not only are there multiple setups to deal with, but there's also multiple areas to go through. Oh, there's another one of these. This time, this one is a bit more important, so if we go into these areas just right, we'll find this hidden area known as a gate switch, in this case. Attack it, and the gate moves to the other side, allowing us to progress to a new area. This one doesn't actually progress us, though. Instead, it opens up a shortcut for us to get back later. Yeah, pretty obnoxious, really. Fortunately, you can't actually go here yet. We need another key. And those key boys is needed once again, so we're gonna go back here to get one. In case you're wondering, I probably won't be able to do the full dungeon in this, but I'll lure it and make up with it with finishing that and also doing other stuff at the same time. I was about to say, I don't think you can avoid this trigger for them attacking you, but I guess I can. Oh, I thought I did not hit him, and somehow I did. The guy just has the nerve to pull out his sword. Now that we are in the late game, by the way, if we ever do get the ability to use our stuff and get to a different area, and for some reason we have a problem, then, like, for some reason we need more monster horns for some strange reason, we'll basically be able to go through and get their monster horns by essentially any bottlekin that has a monster horn, you can snipe it from their back pocket as an alternative. It's pretty fun strategy, honestly. Now, unlike some of the other stuff, this bottlekin we cannot skip. There's not a good way to skip it, so we have no choice but to basically deal with him and just move as fast as we can while he fires arrows at us. Now, if you are smart, you can listen to the sounds of the arrows to know where to go through. Alright, so here's where our actual key will be, under another one of these Mogmas. Oh yeah, you come along at the right time, pal. I'll know who you are or where you're from, but I need you right now is to get me off this chain. I'm in a hurry. I'm not asking you to do it for nothing. Set me free, I'll tell you the big gigantic secret. It was either that or say nothing, which was both almost just as awkward. Okay. Well, just like before, we have to find another one of those hole things, which we find in here. And there are a big puzzle we have to do up here. As a result, we have to be very cautious of where our door thing is so we can actually progress. In fact, I'm actually pretty confused what to do, since before, I know you have to move that to get through. There's no way to complete this puzzle without moving that at least once. But then you also have to move it a different way to get it to another spot, which makes it pretty confusing. So, I'm gonna say just for now, we're gonna hit the gate once, see if that clears up something, which it sort of did, but then that got blocked off. So really, we have no reason to use this, and I don't know why we did that. So, Oh, jeez, it flipped my thing around this time. That makes it off, because I don't know which way is which. I have no choice but to go for this one and hope for the best. If we had just exited in the right spot the first time, maybe things could have been done differently. Oh yeah, see, look, sent. Oh wait, well, it's open that way, but then that's suddenly not open. Okay, so I guess that confirms it. We do have to move both of them at least once. Each of them moved to a different angle. I was just confirming that. Sorry I failed this puzzle because of that, because, again, I don't really remember what to do in terms of the fast strategy, so it can be kind of tricky to remember sometimes, but now I finally remembered, and looks like we do have to get both of these things moved on. Not a good way to go fast in this. The speed doesn't even last for as long on this. It's not fun, honestly. Okay, going out this time, the pathway should actually be cleared. Yeah, sure enough it is. Yeah, so we do need to remove both. And I just slashed too quickly like an idiot. I just wanted to thrust it once, and then we'll throw it on this frog again. This is the second time we've had to do this now. Good thing we don't have to use water, because honestly, getting all that water was really obnoxious. Okay, this time we could actually pull the thing the way we want it to. Ooh, this is the sweet, sweet flavor of freedom, Haas. Thanks for taking the trouble to free me, SotH. You really think I would divulge super secret info on treasure? My mother didn't raise no pansy. I spent too long finding it now. Huh? Those gloves are for my brother's secret question. Are you friends with my brother or something? That's right. Wait, there's something I want to give you. I'll just go and get it right here. And here's our small key, I guess. Here, take this. There's some super info I put together. Took some real sweet work too. I need to survey this place near 100 times to figure it out. You ready for this? Go faint when I tell this. Right around here it is. A hidden room. So in return, please don't tell anyone I was captured. It'll just be our little secret. I'll say okay. Alright then, go ahead and open it up. But don't forget I do. Later then. I said bye now. Hey, we meet again. Huh, sorry, but I kind of happened to overhear that conversation. It seems one of my guys was giving you a hard time. Sorry about that. Stuff you were saying was all true. There's a breeze coming from somewhere in this room. I tell you, I can smell it. Here, the information in this chest will be useful to you. Which actually tells me it's not a key, and instead it's the map. Yep, it's the map. Ooh. Okay. And here we see that there's an awkward room off to the side. The room has a fake wall somewhere. On the other side of the wall, there's another room where I saw you. The ground under us is full of monsters, so we don't go intently much down there. But if you're feeling adventurous, there might be a hidden route. There's not a lot we can do here to get different spots. In fact, we're pretty much already next to the area where it is, and as many people know, hidden walls can't really be collected as secrets normally, so we'll just start by blowing up both of these. And looks like those walls don't have anything, surprisingly enough. So I guess the fake wall is somewhere else. I'll see. Oh wait, it kind of tells you. If you zoom in on the map, you can kind of see where it's supposed to be located. Okay, so I was actually incorrect. It was neither of those walls, but actually the one to the right of that. Assuming I'm looking the right way, yeah. Very unusual to be hidden here. The map is your only hint that this even exists, by the way. And this is required. If you want, you could skip him and just go to the side, but we don't do that here. And here we see a new enemy that is some kind of pincer guy. We hit him once, his things fall off, but he doesn't actually die. More or less, he becomes easier to hit instead. We need to pay attention to that. We're not going to kill him now, but we do have to pay attention to that because we will have to fight him at some point. So, enter through here, and this takes us into the first half of the secret room. And in doing so, we get another chest. And in its chest is our small key. And that's about all we can actually do here. Now we have to actually go back the main way. And there's no way to get back down to that other area, so we'll have to go the long way to get that chest. But more importantly, that allows us to get to the other room. So now that I think of it, I'm just gonna go and get that chest and I'm gonna quit afterwards. And so say I don't, like I said, I doubted I would be able to finish this dungeon in one try. If it was like 20 minutes later, then maybe, but not right now. In fact, there's a convenient save point I can use to call it quits there, and then from there we only have the mid-half left to go with no chest on either side, so we're basically just trying to get to the right, that's it. Oh yeah, wait a minute. This might actually not be the regular treasure. This might actually be one of the hidden things I mentioned. So I guess it's good that I'm finishing with this. Gonna try and bounce it out a bit. Ooh. Almost basically perfect stamina management there. Anyways, we removed the lock on the door to open it so that we can actually get further in here, but then we find out we can't do that. Maybe this vine thing is actually required. Oh wait, no, I can't. Oh wait, I just realized what I have to do, and it's actually a bit more awkward than I first thought. So that chest is not just another hidden chest, nor is it an ordinary chest. That is a super duper hidden chest. The worst of its kind. In other words, we basically needed to get the other treasure before we can get it, because otherwise we don't get a chance to get this one. How are we going to get it? Very basically the same way as we did before when we fought these guys. So yeah, we kill this guy. He's done all that we can use him for, so now we're gonna kill him. Doing so will reveal the lava path, which will allow us to get up top permanently without having to deal with him anymore. And this is where our item is located, all the way at the end here. Since there's not a lot of room to move here, it's also a freebie test. What's in it, though? I'm still confused. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's an empty bottle, which means it is required. Yep, that's right, folks. There was an empty bottle in here the entire time, which means that chest was actually required. Without it, we cannot 100% the game. This has 2 levels, so let's go down to here to see. It looks like we can get down to a lower end for another chest, but not so sure if I can actually do that one properly or not. That might actually be another chest that links to another one, since, well, we can get other stuff. But then if we zoom in, we'll see that it's kind of around the same area as our other one. So it might straight up be hidden here, and we don't know about it. But I don't have much time to talk because I'm basically done with the video. So yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to do, was go there, get the empty bottle, and now I'm going to be done for now. Alright. So yes, as annoying as it is, that chest was required, which is a bit annoying, but anyways, now we're going to be done for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe. I could have easily chosen not to bring my bomb bag, but I did it anyways, just because, well, I like having them. That'll probably be replaced first, and then I'll have to replace my quiver soon after, because there'll be not much else we can do with it afterwards there, too. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.